After the death of his parents, Tarzan was rescued and raised by a band of gorillas, allowing him to integrate into their culture, learn their language, and follow their traditions. The jungle was Tarzan's home, and the gorillas were his family. For years he went without seeing another human, but of course he eventually met some others, including the love of his life, Jane. Together, Tarzan and Jane lived out their days with the gorillas, with Tarzan rising as the Lord of the Jungle. But did Tarzan's legacy continue? Was there an heir to the Lord of the Jungle? Did Tarzan ever have a child? Yes, he did. Hello, I'm Isaac from Want So Videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people. Today, I'm going to discuss how Korak, Son of Tarzan, continued Tarzan's lineage and legacy. If you'd like to learn more about Korak or Tarzan's descendants, after the video, I've provided all the links to the movies and the resources I used in the description. And to continue discussing Disney with me, make sure to subscribe and to click that notification button. Tarzan has such a unique and powerful story, and pairing that with apes, probably my favorite type of animal, and the fire tracks by Phil Collins, in my heart, allows Disney's Tarzan to be my brother Adam's favorite Disney film. I have always resonated with the fantasy of rising to rule over the unknown complex jungles of Africa like audiences have felt for decades, which is why I also love to watch Tarzan and learn about its lore. From Tarzan 2, I learned more about Tarzan's childhood. Through Tarzan and Jane, which I owned on VHS as a kid, and The Legend of Tarzan, we received a glimpse of Tarzan's life after the film, which, by the way, used elements from the original stories by Edgar Rice Burroughs. Now, I understand not all of Burroughs' tales of Tarzan are considered canon for Disney's iteration of the character, but because The Legend of Tarzan continued to utilize aspects from Burroughs' works, then I think Tarzan's story in the Disney canon would likely progress in a similar way to the original books. The Legend of Tarzan would have continued to include many more story arcs from the novels, including the story of Tarzan and Jane's son. The child of the ape man was actually first introduced in a non-Tarzan Burroughs story originally titled The Eternal Lover, while his first appearance as an infant in a Tarzan story came about in the novel titled The Beasts of Tarzan. In the story, Tarzan and Jane have had a son, who they named John, who always went by Jack. Although Tarzan had built up an estate on the Waziri lands, the home of the greatest warriors in Africa, Tarzan and his family were actually residing in Tarzan's ancestral home in London until former adversaries of Tarzan, Nicholas Rokoff and Alexis Polvich, escape from prison. Rokoff and Polvich tactfully trap each of the family members so they could exile them across Africa. But nothing could stop Tarzan from protecting his family. Summoning the knowledge and skills he obtained as Lord of the Jungle, Tarzan aligns himself with the panther Cheetah and a tribe of great apes led by the intelligent Akut, which allows him to end Rokoff's life, stop Polvich, and rescue his family. 10 years later, in the story titled The Son of Tarzan, Jane is scarred by the kidnappings, refusing to return to Africa from London, or allow Jack to know about his father's past for fear he may go seeking that life. She just knew Jack had a profound connection to Tarzan through their wildlife interests, their instincts, and profound athletics. Yeah, I can understand why Jane might be a bit freaked out about the turmoil and chaos present in the jungle, but Tarzan's secret would get out. For at the same time, Polvich was seeking revenge for being forced to suffer on the mainland of Africa, and had recently been discovered by a European ship. Months after his rescue, Polvich came across the ape Akut, the same ape who had fought alongside Tarzan years ago. Hoping to make a quick buck and unaware of his relationship to Tarzan, Polvich brought Akut to London to display him for the world, since his meeting with Tarzan made Akut unafraid of man. Hearing of the ape, Tarzan brought Jack to see the creature, but when Tarzan discovered it was Akut, they began to converse, amazing Jack. After realizing what he had done, Tarzan was finally honest with his son. He explained he was a lord of the jungle. To follow in his father's footsteps, Jack began sneaking away to learn the language of the apes from Akut, building a friendship with him. Over time, Jack longed to bring Akut back to his jungle home. After learning Jack's origins, Polvich identifies an opportunity to take revenge on Tarzan, so he offers to take his adversary's child to Africa. Jack ventures out of London, excited to see the jungle with Akut, but when they reach port, Polvich attacks Jack. Now, although Jack was only a young boy, he was the size of a man. He fought Pulvich off, killing him in the process, leaving Jack horrified, resulting in him fleeing into the jungle with a cut. In the jungle, Jack learns to survive like Tarzan did as a child, and eventually meets the apes who raised his father. Jack carves a legacy for himself amongst the apes, becoming strong, capable, and an effective hunter. Since the apes couldn't say the name Jack, they granted him the ape word for killer. They named Tarzan's son Korak. At the age of about 13, Jack discovers an 11-year-old girl who had been captured by Arabs. Unwilling to let the abused girl suffer any longer, Korak frees the girl who he discovers was named Miriam by the Arabs. Miriam was beautiful, brave, moral, and strong, and for years Korak taught her the ways to survive in the jungle, building a strong relationship with her through each adventure they went on. Korak and Miriam supported one another in a sibling relationship until they separated. Years pass and they eventually meet again in the jungle, and all of a sudden their relationship soars to new heights as they fall in love with one another. With love in his heart and the ability to forgive himself for Pulvich's death, after 6 years of being apart from his parents, Korak reunites with them with Miriam by his side. And Miriam does the same with her father, who reveals to Korak Miriam was actually born with the name Jean Jacket and was in fact a princess. Yes, that's right, Tarzan's descendants are actually royalty. Korak and Miriam marry in London, but the couple could not restrain their desire to return to the jungle. Korak continues to show his honorable and powerful ways in Tarzan the Terrible and Tarzan and the Ant-Men, and he continues Tarzan's lineage in the Burroughs Estate licensed work titled Bunduki. Korak and Miriam have a son named John, who goes on to serve as a soldier in a special missions organization called Group 13 for the Secret Intelligence Service during World War II. And Dawn, John's daughter and the great-granddaughter of Tarzan, leads a life as a graduate of the Royal Charter Rhodian School and becomes an expert in martial arts, wilderness survival, gymnastics, swimming, fencing, and wielding a marauder takedown hunting bow. Tarzan was a beast of a man. He rose to the trials of the jungle, allowing him to become a fighter, a leader, and a father. Each generation after Tarzan, starting with Korak, continued to show they were worthy of their heritage and proved they were capable, intelligent, and willing to fight for what they believed in. Tarzan created a legacy of adventurous and powerful individuals who were constantly drawn to the beauty and chaos of the jungle. So now it's time for the question of the day, sponsored by my patrons. To become a patron yourself, check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/WatsoVideos. Okay, do you think Tarzan's lineage is awesome like I do? I was flipping amazed to learn about all of Tarzan's descendants and how overpowered and cool they all turned out to be. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section, along with any other ideas you have for future Discovering Disney episodes. If you enjoyed discussing Korak and Tarzan's descendants, then click that like button. And if you are interested in staying up to date with more magical Tarzan videos, then click that subscribe button and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you'd like to see more Watso videos, then check out some awesome pics over here. And as always, thanks for watching and have a magical day.